Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Still be weather aware as Tuesday plays out. Our best chance of rain this week will still play out today. Earlier this morning, we had in far western areas of the state a tornado warning storm and some flash flood warnings from about Huntington point southeast for radar indicated rain of 1.5 inches to 2 inches. We have a warm front and then a cold front swinging through, so still some chances of scattered showers and storms will play out. Some locally higher amounts of rain are still possible. Keep eyes on saturated areas, flood-prone areas, streams, rivers. And remember, turn around, don't drown, as again, we did have some flash flood warnings already. Generally, a marginal risk of local flash flooding will still play out today and tonight for the state. This was from earlier this morning. This was the first round of storms that pushed through last night and impacted the morning drive, especially spots like Huntington, and there will still be some chances of some scattered rain and thunderstorms until the main cold front swings through sometime later today or tonight with a northwest breeze. Locally windy in some of the higher elevations southeast. Fly-Super forecast, it starts at home. Chicago 77, they're dry today. They had some very heavy rain and a lot of severe weather out there yesterday. Today it is our turn. From Panhandle to Panhandle, still a chance of a shower and storm. Isolated severe storms are possible too. Large hail, damaging winds can't be ruled out. A chance of a storm early tonight, but more isolated by tonight. Eastern Panhandle, highs low to mid-80s. Risk of localized flash flooding or an isolated to scattered severe storm. Mid-60s tonight. Still be weather aware. There will be some breaks in between the multiple rounds of showers I'll be watching. It'll be more scattered maybe in coverage this afternoon, then weakening tonight. Southern areas, again, remember, turn around, don't drown if there's any lingering flash flooding. High of 89 in Huntington. Dry stretch Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, highs mid-80s. Chances of rain and thunder for the weekend.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Live from West Virginia's capital city with news from across the state. This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and Metro News' Dave Allen.
Welcome into the 2 o'clock hour. It's Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. We'll get to your phone calls and texts. Bottom of the hour. An open line, West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK-304. It's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK-304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
It's a Tuesday afternoon across the great state of West Virginia. Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Open line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson are our producers today. WVRC Media continues trying to help out our friends and neighbors in north central West Virginia. This is the fourth of the flood donation drives we have done. Of course, we started with Charleston on Friday. Yesterday, we did Martinsburg and Morgantown. Today, we are in Clarksburg. Let's bring in our man, Jack Murphy. How you doing, Jack?
Good afternoon, Dave. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. How's it going?
It's going great. We are, as you mentioned, we're at the radio station today in Mount Clair and collecting items for these communities that were hit so hard. And, you know, in all of the time that I've worked in the radio business, we've always been astonished at how our listeners show up when people need help. And this time we were in the bullseye, and, you know, that attitude and spirit of giving has continued, and we've seen it today. Just people showing up with, they're listening. They're listening to the items that these cities and relief efforts need, and they're showing up with those exact items. And it's been a great day. And we're just so thankful for people with giving hearts and that want to help. And we've taken a lot of calls and had a lot of questions about other ways that people can help, and we've been able to make some progress today on pushing that information out as well.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, and I've been in this business for a long time as well, 38 years as a matter of fact, and it's amazing the way that listeners will really, really respond, especially if they've gone through it. And somebody brought that up to me the other day when we were doing our event, Jack, here in Charleston, that the number of people that will come through and go, hey, this happened to me. This happened to me when I was a kid, and I never forgot it. This happened to me in my neighborhood when I was growing up, and I just want to give back. You see so much of that at these events, man.
That's exactly right, Dave. We've kind of seen a little bit of that today because, we had one gentleman that brought some donation. It was like the whole back of his truck, and in it it was pet food, and you could tell that those were people that maybe their hearts really went out to pets. They saw the pet food on there, and they could relate to that, whether it happened to them or they're just a pet lover. We made an appeal for box fans and extension cords and water hoses, and people just showed up with them, and you could tell. I mean, it wasn't like they pulled them out of their house. These were brand new things. It looks like they had gone to the store and purchased these things, and it just really has been wonderful to see. And people are so glad to give and glad to help, and it's really tough to see what people are going through, but you can't help but feel like just nothing but pride to be here and see the way that people respond and they get behind what's needed. Proud to be in West Virginia today, Dave.
Talking again with Jack Murphy about our flood drive happening up in 91 Radio Park Drive in Mount Clair. They're going to be there till 4 o'clock. And again, as we've said throughout these things, Jack, depending on the timeline of the flood, things change. The first 24 hours, everybody needs this. And then 48 hours leads to this, and 72 hours and on down the line. And you mentioned this earlier. The big items right now, I think most areas are okay on bottled water and things of that nature. Big items right now, you mentioned the box fans, the dehumidifiers, the shop vacs. I mean, those are some of the big things that are in demand right now.
It is, and I'll tell you, I wanted to mention when I knew I was coming on here with you, I actually have been working very closely with our IT team, and on the Metro News site, we've made some updates. When you go to that flood relief page, there is a tab now for Upshur and Lewis counties, and you're right. Some of the things that Lewis County needs right now are a little bit different than what Upshur County needs. And so there's also some links that we put on there, Dave, of how you go to volunteer. Mm-hmm. Let's say your group or organization want to get down there and help, like with the labor that's going on down there. The links are there to do it. If you want to make a monetary donation, the links are on there. And so we've tried to exactly what you're talking about. As this thing kind of develops, the need changes, and we're trying to get that and push that information out so people know specifically what is needed.
Well, those here in the Kanawha Valley and also, Jack, in the Greenbrier Valley certainly saw a lot of bodies that came in back in 2016. I think about areas like White Sulphur Springs and Raynell down in Greenbrier County, and we're on down there. This show is on in that area, so we know that the people down there know what I'm talking about. Clendenin, Elkview here in Kanawha County, 2016, man, bodies just rolled in like you wouldn't believe. People saying, how can I help? From church groups to elected officials to just good old boys that got together and say, hey, we ride four-wheelers on Sunday, but we wanted to do something to help. And that's what we do here in West Virginia.
It's right. I got to be – I actually live in Lewis County. I don't know if I told you that. I live just about 5 miles from the Walmart there. And just to see people on side-by-sides and using their pickup trucks and using their trailers, different businesses and organizations that you can tell they've commandeered some of those work vehicles for whatever that business was doing normally. Now it's in an effort to clean up or to get people there to help. And so I got to downtown Weston on Sunday. It was the first time I visited downtown, and it kind of broke my heart because it looked like a war zone down there, and these businesses have all of their things out on the curb that were damaged. And we've been hearing stories about, can this restaurant reopen? And we heard today from a commissioner saying we don't know if the Walmart will be back open until October. The Shop and Save there in Weston, it looks like maybe they'll get open a little bit sooner than that.
Actually, I think they're open now.
Oh, did they go ahead and open? Oh,
I hear my man. Let me find it here. My man Joe Kinzer, who I know he's a Southern West Virginia guy, but he's lived in Buchanan for a number of years. He was helping us out a lot in our flood coverage up there, sending us videos and whatnot. He sent a text about 12:56 today, and with a picture which I sent to the news department. It said "Shop and Save in Weston just open at noon today."
Oh, that's wonderful.
It is.
I mean, that's great for Lewis County, and so. It's like I said, these donations, the things that we're asking people to bring up to Radio Park Drive today, and the ones that have been happening all over the state, it's needed. And when those items arrive to those people and it's distributed out, whether it's water, just fresh drinking water or something like that, I can tell you that those people that are out there working every day, getting those care packages. That's just hope. Mm-hmm. That's just another delivery of hope, that kind of goes, well, I'll keep going. Let's get this place back open. And so we just want to do all that we can to help. And we appreciate what you're doing on your show here. This is one of those situations where we're really blessed to have Metro News and the radio company because we can reach out to people and make an appeal and say, like, here's how you can help. And then the other people, here's how we can help. And that's what we're trying to do. And just proud to be a part of the effort, Dave.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're talking to Jack Murphy. And again, you guys are on site till 4 o'clock. Is that right?
That's true. Hey, if you let me plug a couple other events, we're going to be at the actual donation center in Lewis County tomorrow. We're going to show up there at about 11 o'clock and have stations there. We're going to talk to some local officials and have them on talking about and just continuing to keep updates going. And then on Friday, we'll be over at Wesleyan College, which is kind of headquarters right now for Upshur County. And we'll just keep pushing this information to you guys as we get it on the street. And I'm like you, Dave. I know that, we'll go into next week and we'll go into the following week, and it won't be as big as news as it was last week or this week, but there'll still be a need, and so we still want to help them.
There's going to be a need, for some time, and I don't know, you probably didn't get to hear the show, but last hour we interviewed a gentleman that owns a barber shop in Morgantown, but he's originally from Weston. And he is donating. He's going to take a specific day, and he's going to give free haircuts to school-age kids, to any first responder who he's going to give for free haircuts to. He was also going to offer up free backpacks because, school's going to be starting here in a couple of weeks. And for school-age kids that come by on the specific date, he is going to give away free backpacks. And that's just the kind of stuff that we do. And this is a gentleman whose own grandmother, I think he said, lived in Weston, and she had an issue with the flooding, but he's inspired. He's going to go out and he's going to help.
I'll tell you, I just love stories like that. We've been getting more and more of them as this goes through and as this unfolds, and it's just it's one of those deals where we always get right. If you're scrolling on your phone or whatever, we always see the worst of the worst, and it just does my heart good to know that there are such giving, passionate people willing to help in West Virginia when things like this happens.
And we'll go ahead and I'll make myself a mental note to try to maybe, if we can hook up with you. I don't want to take away from what you're doing up there, but if we could maybe have you on the show tomorrow or the next day or whenever you're going to be doing these events out in the community, maybe we can get a quick check-in with you and you could just tell us how things are going. How's that?
Absolutely. I'd love to, Dave.
All right. Jack Murphy, again, you folks are at 91 Radio Park Drive in Mount Clair up until 4 o'clock today collecting those items. And again, they'll gladly take anything, but what's really being asked for now at this stage, here we are 1 week later, Jack, the bigger, like the shop vacs, the box fans, dehumidifiers. And as I mentioned earlier, I mean, that may sound like kind of a big ask and a little bit of expensive, but if you get some folks together in some of these civic clubs, again, I mentioned I was a Rotarian for a number of years, so mentioning Rotary, mentioning Lions Club, Kiwanis, every town, every community's got a couple of those. Your church group, a men's fellowship group, ladies auxiliary, whatever the case may be, go together, pull your money together, go to metronews.com, go to any of our station's websites, and you'll see how you can make the donations either through money, or you can also show up there today in where you guys are in Mount Clair at 91 Radio Park Drive. Jack, I appreciate it as always, my friend, and we may be talking to you tomorrow or the next day. How's that?
That sounds great. Oh, come on. Anytime you'll have me, Dave. Thank you.
All right, Jack. Thanks a lot. Jack Murphy, again, and that event is going on in Mount Clair today till 4 o'clock, 91 Radio Park Drive. And again, they'll take anything. I mean, you know, we don't want to say, okay, well, we don't want this anymore. They'll take anything. But those are the big ticket items that they really need right now, because the initial again, we're a week. I mean, in some ways it seems like it was just yesterday. In some ways it seems like it was 6 months ago. I mean, it really does. But we are at a point right now that the deep cleaning is really beginning. The water started to go down, you know, most places within about 10 to 12 hours of that night. Now's when the deep cleaning comes in. So these shop vacs are invaluable. These dehumidifiers and things of that nature. So if you get an opportunity, stop by there in Mount Clair today from now until 4 o'clock, 91 Radio Park Drive. Stop by and say hello to Jack and the folks there. And again, we're going to check in with him maybe the next couple of days, because they have a couple of events up there. I know they were going to go to Wesleyan one day, and they're going to be at some other places as well. So if our schedules can line up, we'll try to check in with them at those particular times. Go to our website, WVMetronews.com, WVMetronews.com. There are links there, and we're constantly updating those links with ways you can donate to Upshur County, Lewis County, make it a little bit more area specific if you choose to do that. It is 2:20, Open Line West Virginia, coming up at the bottom of the hour. Nothing but your calls and text at 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK-304. We're back after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing, that he didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true. So
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Welcome back to the show. It is 2:25 on a Tuesday afternoon. Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. As we speak, President Trump is giving the eulogies, one of those that are doing those. So at Senator Lindsey Graham's funeral, it is going on as we speak. Introducing Metro News Television weather. Metro News meteorologist Brian Hughes on your radio. Of course, you know that, and his team of meteorologists are on all of your connected screens, too, with the latest weather updates. Metro News Television weather. Download the Metro News Television app and also follow along on social media as well. And speaking of Mr. Hughes, that's where I get my weather. And I was just checking in with him. And we had some here in the Kanawha Valley about a little after 6 or so this morning, man. We had some of the most vivid lightning that I have seen in a long time. It really wasn't raining yet as I was preparing to leave the house this morning. But, man, I mean, it was pitch black dark, but the sky was lighting up like you wouldn't believe. And eventually, as I got closer to Charleston this morning, then the rain really hit. We had some heavy rain. Brian tells us that actually there were some areas in eastern Kentucky and southern West Virginia that had tornado warnings. Logan County, I think Wayne County, on over into a couple of the counties in Kentucky, Mingo County as well. Those were allowed to die out. But now we are starting to see some more weather alerts. He's got, and again, you can read all this for yourself. You can, well, number one, download the Metro News Television app, but you can also follow along on Facebook. There are severe thunderstorm watches in a lot of southern West Virginia, talking about areas like, let's say, Beckley and into Lewisburg and places like that until 8 o'clock this evening. There are also there's a severe thunderstorm warning in effect as we speak and this is till 3:15 this afternoon. Places like Lewisburg, White Sulphur Springs, Raynell, Ronceverte, and Alderson. All of those areas are on a severe thunderstorm warning until 3:15 this afternoon. And this is going to actually stretch over into northwestern Allegheny County, Virginia. And it affects, I mentioned Greenbrier County, but also Summers County and Monroe counties in West Virginia. Now, Brian says a storm near the community of Rupert was moving southeast at 35 miles an hour, could bring with it 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and some hail as well. Damage to roofs, siding, and trees are a possibility in those areas. And again, we're talking about some hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. And again, primarily those areas are in Summers County and in Greenbrier County, West Virginia, stretching over into Allegheny County, Virginia. So if you're going to be traveling in those areas, please use caution. And again, download the Metro News Television app for Brian and his team of meteorologists. And also, you can also follow along on Facebook as well. 2:27. Having a little bit of a joking moment with my co-host Amanda Barron earlier. We were talking about school starting here in a couple of weeks and the things that are different now. As a matter of fact, I think in a couple of days on the show, I think Thursday, we are going to have a guest on that's going to talk about the rising cost of school supplies. And here at our Charleston cluster of stations every year, Woody Woods started this thing years ago called the Backpack Attack. And this means absolutely nothing in the big picture of things other than I found it interesting. The things that have changed over the years for back to school. Here in Kanawha County, unless I'm wrong, somebody can correct me, but every student gets a device similar to an iPad or something like that, and maybe in your county they do as well. But when he said a couple of years ago, we were going over the list of things, and for years I guess they had collected the same basic things, and then it all suddenly changed. You had to have like device chargers and things of that nature. And the one that got me, I guess, was water bottles. And I'm thinking, why would you have to have a water bottle? Again, I don't have kids or grandkids in school, so this is all new to me. And each kid is required to have a water bottle, and it can be some sort of a status symbol as to what kind of water bottle you have. So Woody, my man, being the master marketeer that he is, designs, 1073, the Beat water bottles to give out to everybody. But I guess the current generation, and I get the safety aspect of it and so on and so forth, I guess they're just going to miss. It's just a thing of the past. That's standing in line for the water fountain. Telling your teacher that you're dang near death if you don't get a couple of sips of water just so you can have an excuse to get out of class and go. And we all lined up down the hall at maybe this time of day for a little bit of a break, and everybody leaning over those water fountains. And God knows, I'm talking about growing up in the coal fields, what all I was ingesting into my body at that time. But I don't know. Times were simpler back then. We're coming up on 2:30. Open line, West Virginia. What's on your mind? Mountain State and beyond. 1-800-765-TALK. Text 304-TALK-304. You're listening to Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. We're back after this. And now we'll go to the Metro News Anchor Desk for a check of local news.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Still be weather aware as Tuesday plays out. Our best chance of rain this week will still play out today. Earlier this morning, we had in far western areas of the state a tornado warning storm and some flash flood warnings from about Huntington point southeast for radar indicated rain of 1.5 inches to 2 inches. We have a warm front and then a cold front swinging through, so still some chances of scattered showers and storms will play out. Some locally higher amounts of rain are still possible. Keep eyes on saturated areas, flood-prone areas, streams, rivers. And remember, turn around, don't drown, as again, we did have some flash flood warnings already. Generally, a marginal risk of local flash flooding will still play out today and tonight for the state. This was from earlier this morning. This was the first round of storms that pushed through last night and impacted the morning drive, especially spots like Huntington. And there will still be some chances of some scattered rain and thunderstorms until the main cold front swings through sometime later today or tonight with a northwest breeze. Locally windy in some of the higher elevations southeast. Fly Super forecast, it starts at home. Chicago 77, they're dry today. They had some very heavy rain and a lot of severe weather out there yesterday. Today it is our turn. From Panhandle to Panhandle, still a chance of a shower and storm. Isolated severe storms are possible too. Large hail, damaging winds can't be ruled out. A chance of a storm early tonight, but more isolated by tonight. Eastern Panhandle, highs low to mid-80s, risk of localized flash flooding or an isolated to scattered severe storm, mid-60s tonight. Still be weather aware. There will be some breaks in between the multiple rounds of showers I'll be watching. It'll be more scattered maybe in coverage this afternoon, then weakening tonight. Southern areas, again, remember, turn around, don't drown if there's any lingering flash flooding. High of 89 in Huntington. Dry stretch Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, highs mid-80s, chances of rain and thunder for the weekend.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
If it matters in West Virginia, it's being talked about here.
I always said I was going to move to a mountain in Tucker County, but probably going to put a data center on it, so I got to find a new plan.
Oh, you did not.
Oh, I did. told you, it's a little grumpy today.
Oh,
Three or
man,
four-
you got some zingers today, Dave. I love it.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com. Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing. They didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true. That is so true.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Thank you for caring.
This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com.
Welcome back to the show. 26 away from 3 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. It's Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit SalangoLaw.com. You know, one of the things that people that do what we do for a living here, believe it or not, people, will sometimes they'll ask, they'll say, well, what is it that I don't want to say makes you nervous, but takes you out of your comfort zone? One of those for me is being interviewed myself. And I'm not talking about if I sit on Talk Line or something like that. I'm talking about a sit down interview. I'm doing one of those when I leave here today. Folks at the Charleston Area Alliance, my good friend Morgan Robinson over there and her marketing company, they do this thing, and I think it's called Spilling the Tea. And of course, I had to Google and find out exactly what the tea meant, because it meant something totally different, But I am going to go over and I am going to be interviewed by Morgan Robinson coming up at about 3:30 or so this afternoon. Something I'm not comfortable with. I am going to sit down and be interviewed, and I'll have more on that a little bit. We got breaking weather news now from meteorologist Brian Hughes.
Yes, the National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning that is in effect for the areas that include Lewisburg right now. So, sorry about my voice. Trying to get that back. Tornado warning is in effect for Greenbrier, Summers, and Monroe County until 3 o'clock this afternoon. They do have just got a note from the National Weather Service here real quick. Let me run over to that app just for a hot second, because they've just said that they had a signature right here. It says, we issued a tornado warning for the storm in Greenbrier County. Rotation signature continues to look better, and it's also moving into a more favorable environment for a tornadic thunderstorm.
So by favorable, we don't mean good.
It's not good.
Okay.
Good for the storm,
but
and its survival,
okay.
But it is not good for anybody.
And what is
that's
this
out
area again, Brian?
So this is going to be southwestern Greenbrier County, Summers, and Monroe County. This goes until 3 o'clock this afternoon. So that includes Meadow Bluff, 7 miles north of Alderson, moving off to the southeast at 25 miles per hour. So that's where it is located right now, 7 miles north of Alderson. Tornado and quarter-size hail is possible. Flying debris will be possible with this as well. So the locations that need to take shelter: Lewisburg, White Sulphur Springs, I've always got this wrong over the years. Ronceverte? Ronceverte. Alderson, Union, Asbury, and Pickaway. So
if you live in those areas, you need to seek shelter now.
Yeah, this is a pretty good storm here, because even when you look at it from the Charleston radar, it looks very, very good as far as the rotation is concerned.
Meaning bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry about that. In the weather terms in our world is a lot different than everything else. But yeah, I've got it. There's a lot of lightning. Matter of fact, that would be very indicative just off to the north of Alderson by about 5 miles now. So.
Okay,
that's what we're looking at. But it's gonna cross the highway here in just a bit, and that's gonna be let's see here, a highway. Gotta get where are my glasses? That's gonna be the highway. I think it's 12.
Okay,
but anyways, it's on the south side of I-64 in that Alderson area, so just 5 miles north of Alderson. And there's actually 2 areas of rotation. There's actually one that is separate, that is embedded in the storm, and there's one that is the typical classic tornado signature where you would see the hook echo.
Okay, and this is all happening in the southern part of West Virginia, southeastern part. I mean, and I even mentioned earlier, because I read some of your posts that you had done, that it actually stretches into Virginia, right? Allegheny County, Virginia.
Yes, that is correct. Matter of fact, this is going to be a pretty robust storm that's going to go into Virginia. But we still have a severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect across southern West Virginia, and that does include Beckley up to Marlinton, back over to Pikeville, Kentucky, for those of you who can hear us there. And we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for Raleigh County. That goes for the next 22 minutes. But it's that tornado warning that's really just going to be continue to march on off to the southeast. So Patton, you need to be on the lookout for this as it's headed your way. Hoax Mill, Fraser, those areas right now.
All right, Brian, we appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
All right, Brian, and you can understand why the guy has practically no voice left after the last week or so. So Brian, we appreciate it, man. Come back in if you need to.
10-4.
All right, again, breaking news there from Metro News meteorologist Brian Hughes. If you live in one of those areas he mentioned down in southern West Virginia, we're talking about areas in, like he mentioned, White Sulphur Springs, Lewisburg, Roncevert, Alderson. In those areas, you need to seek shelter, because this is not something to be played around with. This is a tornado warning we're talking about for those areas. And again, Brian needs to, he'll come back on the air, but you can certainly follow him when you safely can on social media as well. 21 minutes away from 3. I was just talking about this interview thing that I'm going to be doing at 3:30 this afternoon. It's an hour long. They tell me an hour long interview that I'm only interesting for like the first 3 minutes. So I don't know what we're going to do for the other 57 minutes, but I'm looking forward to it. I'll let you know where you can see it. Also, I've been asked to serve as the MC/moderator for a thing that is a kind of a combination effort between the Charleston Area Alliance, the Putnam County Chamber of Commerce, and the Greater Huntington Area Chamber of Commerce. They do the State of the Valley Luncheon in the month of August, and it's at Valley Park in Hurricane, and I have been asked to moderate that particular event. So again, as today, or as I guess yesterday, this morning, yesterday I think it was, to write a bio of myself, and I don't even know how to begin to do those sorts of things, but I'll make up some stuff. 1-800-765-TALK. That's the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Let's get to open line West Virginia. Text says, this has to do with the theft of the items. You heard us talking about it. Story posted about it at WVMetroNews.com at the Weston Walmart. And again, let me just kind of set this up. The Walmart Corporation apparently hired a contracting company to come in to do some cleanup there, and a couple of folks have been charged in stealing some pretty high-end stuff from there, and it turns out that they were deemed to be illegals in the country. Text says $20,000 divided by 52 items is $385 per item. Any chance Walmart or police overinflated the prices? Those seem awfully steep for Walmart jewelry. I do not know. I know one of them was accused of taking some sort of a smart watch. May not have been the brand name, but it was some sort of a high-end watch sort of thing. So I don't know. 1-800-765-TALK. Text 304-TALK-304. Text says this is about the time change. Dave, split the baby in half, change the time back half hour, and make the rest of the world angry. Text, if you're illegal and you steal the ice you'll get, or ice will get you, says the texter. Text, Pritt should have stayed in the Republican Party. Seems to be the party of perverts anyway, says a texter. I don't know if that goes along party lines, to be honest with you. Text, in the Kanawha County Ambulance Service case, judges hate change of venue. They usually meet the lawyers halfway, with the jury coming from outside the area. Text says, I know you don't agree, but I loved what Governor Morrissey said about former Delegate Pritt yesterday. It wasn't that I didn't like the basic idea behind it. I just wasn't crazy about the language that he used. That's what I was. I mean, he referred to former Delegate Pritt, and I'm not defending Delegate Pritt. Do not get me wrong, former delegate. But the governor did say something about him being a former socialist that was climbing the GOP ladder. And my question that I ask aloud is, did he always think about that? Think of Mr. Pritt that way? I don't know. Maybe he did. I don't know. Text, what the heck is wrong with people stealing from flood victims? Yes, I would agree. Text said the seat held by Delegate Pritt was not a statewide office. No, it's not you're correct. It's not a statewide office per se, but it does come under the purview of state rules, because the legislature, with some exceptions, do not generally speak. The legislators have a residence, of course, that they serve out of, but in many cases, not all, they serve multiple counties. Again, not all. And so that's why even though it's not a statewide office in the way you would think of governor, secretary of state, ag commissioner, treasurer, attorney general, no, it's not a constitutional office, but it is, for a manner of speaking, considered to be a statewide office. I understand your point, though. I really do. On the county thing, text says, all true. When I first moved here 50 years ago, I asked where people were from, and they would all say the name of their county. That didn't help much back then, LOL. And yes, I've been on a boat on the Danube River when somebody came up from behind me and said, hey, did I hear someone say West Virginia? I'm from West Virginia, too, and we do love each other, says a texter. Amanda and I were talking about that earlier, and I've got to take a break, about how West Virginia, and I don't think it's just a West Virginia thing. I think it's a Southern thing. I think it's an Appalachian thing. Really identify with their county. You know, where are you from? I always said I'm from Logan County, even though I haven't lived there in 12 years or more. I always said I'm from Logan County because I lived in various places in Logan County. I grew up in one area of the county. Then when I was in 6th grade, we moved to the other area of the county. So I always just said I'm from Logan County. So, which I am, but very good point. 16 minutes away from 3, 1-800-765-TALK, text 304-TALK 304. We're back after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing, that he didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true. So
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Welcome back to the show. 12 minutes away from 3 on a Tuesday afternoon. Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. That exact quote from the governor, I wanted to make sure I got it right, about the resignation yesterday of Elliot Pritt. The delegate said, "Good riddance to the terrible former West Virginia delegate Elliot Pritt. He just resigned!" ! Pritt was not only accused of terrible crimes against a child, but he was a former socialist who was making his way up the GOP leadership pathway. The GOP must always stand for integrity, protecting our kids, and maintaining our principles. Happy for this result. That was the exact quote from the governor yesterday. Text says, "I hope that Trump and Hegseth take notes on how to run a war when they meet with Zelensky. Maybe this is why they are meeting with him." 1-800-765-TALK, text 304, talk 304. Text says, "Should have asked the Charleston police chief this morning for his take on flock cameras." Well, it didn't come up in the conversation, so I do appreciate the text. Text says, "During a weather disaster such as flooding in central West Virginia last week, there is no room for politics. I read some awful posts saying MAGA country getting what they deserved, etc. People need to put their hate to bed." When reading some of the texts that I read on national news media, and again, this is one of the reasons why I had my 24-hour hiatus from social media, was because of things like this. You would be surprised at the number of people on sites, and I'm just going to use a couple of examples. Let's say ABC News, CNN, would make comments like, "Well, it's a Trump state. What do you expect? They deserve what they get." And they. The sad thing is, in many cases, it's not hyperbole. They actually think that way. That's the sad thing about where we are, my opinion, in America today. And look, if somebody was saying, "Well, that's what you get. You're the state that produced Joe Biden or Barack Obama," well, I say that that is equally as bad. Appreciate the text. Text says, "Brian was right. We really could use some food trucks up here in Weston." Please, for the love of God, get the Greenbrier away from the Justice family, says the texter. Text, "All these Republicans rolling all over each other to denounce Elliot Pritt. Where were you a couple of weeks ago? You loved him then," says the texter. 1-800-765-TALK, text 304, talk 304. Text, "So are those companies who hired the thieving undocumented laborers going to get the full weight of the state and federal government punishment? ? Nah, that'd be appropriate and is wishful thinking." I'll tell you, appreciate the text. I think they should. I think 100% they should. If they knew that this is one of the problems with undocumented immigrants. Everybody says, close the border, which we have for the most part. But I've said from day one that I think that more needs to be done with the people who hired them to begin with. And again, I'm not talking about people with working visas or things. I'm talking about people that come in that are illegal workers. They're coming in for a reason, and they're getting hired by companies. And if you can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that they knowingly hired illegal, I say bust them. Bust them. I know, texture, that may not be what you thought I would say, but that's what I'm saying. West Virginia's on the rise. New businesses, new opportunities, and a strong, resilient workforce leading the way. Check out the full story, WVNrich.com, a video presentation sponsored by Huntington Bank. Proud to be investing in the future of West Virginia. Text says, "West Virginians need to write thank you notes to the residents of California and New York for financial support," says the texter. Elliot Pritt, says the texter, "should never see the outside of a jail again." Text, "if you don't eat lettuce, you don't have to worry about getting sick. Beer never makes me sick," says the text. Well, sounds like sound advice to me. Dave, "I see where West Virginia's economy is worse than what we thought." Well, I'm going to need a little context on Texas, good interview yesterday with the Boone County school superintendent. I love that he didn't blame the Hope Scholarship like most in the school system do. In fact, he said the potential closings of those schools had nothing to do with the Hope Scholarship. Good job. He did go out of his way to say that. We interviewed the superintendent, Mr. Sexton, there yesterday, and I asked him, because we're talking about closures of some schools in the Whitesville and Van areas of Boone County, and I specifically asked him on the interview with Amanda and me yesterday, to what does he attribute that? And he point blank said that it was population loss. And he went as far as to say that people that say it was the Hope Scholarship, it wasn't. This was population loss. That's according to the superintendent there in Boone County Schools. 2:53, we will take a break and put this one to bed after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing, that they didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Welcome back to the show. 3 minutes away from 3 o'clock. Quick reminder, tomorrow is Wednesday, which means we recognize another wonderful West Virginian, somebody doing good stuff in your community, drop us an email, midday@wvmetronews.com, midday@wvmetronews.com, or reach out to either Amanda or myself on social media. Dave Allen Radio on Facebook for me, or at Dave A70 on X. You can also text us as well. Look who's here, ladies and gentlemen. He played kazoo in Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's Dave Weekly.
Oh, I tell you, man, that's a lot of ways to contact you.
Yeah.
A lot of ways. It's almost like if I don't contact you in one of those varieties of ways, you take it personally. You
could also,
and I don't want to do that. I don't want to affect our friendship in that way.
Also,
and this is when we talk right now.
You can also look me up on MySpace if you want to.
MySpace.
Want to do that?
Those are the days.
Those were the days. Speaking of Earth, Wind, and Fire, I just watched a great documentary on Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's on
HBO.
It was a very well done documentary, and I mean, I did not realize the musical trailblazers that they were. I mean, I knew they were good, but I didn't know about the backstory and everything. It was very good.
Questlove.
Questlove did it. You're right. I would urge people to look that up. I mentioned this last hour, or actually early this hour weekly, that when I leave here, I am going over to the Charleston Area Alliance building, and I'm going to sit down for a podcast, a video podcast, and I'm going to be interviewed. And I said that those of us that do what we do for a living, I'm going to say I'm nervous about that. It's not that, but it's weird, for somebody to sit down and put a mic on me and say, "All right, Dave, tell us about your life."
Yeah, that's crazy. You spend all the time talking to other people about their lives, and then suddenly it's like they wheel that big light in a small room on you.
And
Spill.
I'll say,
and be entertaining.
I was born when I was very young, so.
But you got a real interesting story.
I do.
Well, yeah, man.
What?
Yeah, you're quite layered. You're like an onion, man. I'm just peeling back the layers.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And one day I will eventually make everyone cry. So there's that.
There you go.
Hotline coming up on many of these same Metro News stations. I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, have fun. I love somebody.